Hello, guys. Thank you so much for being with us on today. This is Above as Below is talking about Satyrian energy and teaching every one of you guys. If this is your first time in my live, my name is Apostle Ely. I am the Chief Apostle of Apostolic Faith of Jesus Christ Incorporated, and my beliefs are truly rooted in the ATRs. I come on TikTok because I come here to share knowledge, wisdom, understanding, and answer questions that you guys may have, whether you're practicing any of the ATRs and some of the universal laws that apply to a lot of this conjure that many of you guys are out there. If this is something that you are interested into and you're looking for a teacher, there are certain things that teachers should be able to say to students, whether you're an initiate or a non-initiate, in order for you to actually respect the ATRs, whether it's root work, whether it's conjure, whether it's mysticism, whether it is working with candles, whether it's working with gree bags, or whether it's doing obeah. A lot of times, especially on these days, that a lot of people are trying to get readings, trying to get insight. But the thing about it is, when you don't know how to approach situations and circumstances, you can't get the most for your time, your energy, and the money. Thank you so much for hitting that like. To all of you guys that have been following me and have subscribed to my YouTube channel, you know that I put out a lot of information. To all you, thank you so much, King. All right, there, appreciate that. When it comes down to spiritual laws, those that do not know that I have been practicing magic since I was in elementary school. I'm 51 years old. I have been practicing the dark arts. I've been practicing conjure, necromancy for many years on a professional level, even as up under my spiritual dad at 13 years old. I've had the privilege and honor of embracing real spiritual workers, and I'm not talking about that information that I got out of a book, information that I got off of social media. I'm talking about being up under the tutelage of somebody that actually have clientele and that service business owners, lawyers, doctors, drug dealers, like the list goes on and on. So I came up under that type of tutelage and instruction, and so therefore I have been trained, and so therefore I don't deal with a lot of things that a lot of other spirituals may deal with, because that stuff is beneath what I do. And so therefore I let the doves and the pigeons do what they do, and I do what eagles do. So I'm here. If you have questions concerning the ATRs, or you have questions concerning certain manifestation, like today as above, we're talking about Satyrian energy. It's about structure. It's also about finances. One of the a good herb to utilize today would be patchouli, and so therefore that's something that when it comes down to structure and manifestation, these are the things that I feel that as a teacher of the black arts, as a teacher of these practices. A lot of you guys don't realize that a lot of the delusions could be taken care of if the people that were actually practicing were instructing people what to look for and what not to look for. I do have a question. What is your question? Lay it on me. King and my Fede phone Babalu Aye, Saint Lazarus, which is my father in Ocha. Hold on, somebody's trying to come in here, so I don't want to miss your question. Hey, thank you guys from Pennsylvania. Thank you. I'm waiting on King to post a question. If you have questions, do someone has roots on me? Okay. Let me to all of you guys that are concerned about whether someone have roots on you, they have voodoo on you, you have Santeria or whatever ATR that they may have performed the works. One of the things, hey there, sweetheart, Capricorn from Pittsburgh. So let me explain this to you guys. The thing that when it comes down to roots, root work is different than a lot of other type of magical systems. Depending on the herb that was utilized or the root that was utilized to bring either bad luck, depending on, and when somebody has work on you, you will see a pattern over and over. Now, what I tell people is this. If you don't go get a reading, if you don't get you go get a consultation with me. Say you decide to say, you know what, I'm not going to get a reading. I'm going to try to figure this out on my own. If the way you find out is the process of elimination. If you are taking care of business and you're normally up on your health, you're normally taking care of your responsibility, you normally have a job. A lot of times when people say that they have work on them, they have bad habits. And they may have situations or circumstances that may be happening due to the fact of how they have mishandled their funds, how they mishandled relationships, and so therefore they feel like energetically somebody is attacking them, when a lot of times you just reaping what you sow. Okay, so when it comes down to Miss Funeral Director, all right there, when it comes down to spirituality, if there is a root on you, when we work with an herb, that herb grows and operates in a certain fashion. Just use an example. If I was using vandal root, that herb operates in a certain way, and so therefore it is going to produce that certain working over and over and over again in that person's life. How old are you in Ocha? I am not even a year, to be honest with you. I am Crown Mafedi Fun Oya, but my father is hey there, Tucker. I feel that a lot of times people don't understand how conjure works, and when I teach stuff to people, I try to get them, and that's what I mean, a teacher. If you are in a practice and you are representing that practice, the best thing for that practice, yes, I am. You are Yahweh, yes. And so the best thing that you can do as a teacher of that particular practice, like my first practice is voodoo, Haitian voodoo. And so that's why before I got into Ocha, I had to go through processes with my Loas before I can actually go through Ocha. So you mean double counter with discipline and behavior. Okay. What I mean is, if you are a person that manages their life well, you're a good steward over what you have gotten from the ancestors, the Egun spirit, or if you believe that you do it on your own, it don't matter. Energetically, when a spirit comes to interfere in your life, that spirit is going to find the weakest link in your life. And so therefore, if you're good on your health, if you're good on your finances, you're going to notice. It's like if you keep a clean house, you're going to notice when something is out of order. It shouldn't take you long. If you keep an unorderly house, if you don't keep your yard clean, you don't know if somebody throws something in your yard or not, because you don't have maintenance. You don't maintain your life. A lot of times when people are dealing with magical situations, they can't even figure out, is it the smell of a spirit or is it their body odor? Like if you are doing what you are, especially grown people, because I don't talk to young people in the sense of up under age. I talk to people that can make decisions for themselves. And so when it comes down to conjure, it's like I tell people, if you are always in somebody else's business, whether they put you in the business or you just knows it don't matter, because every individual carries energy. And so therefore, how do you know that you're not going through something because of how you connected yourself to somebody else's energy? And now you're trying to do a return to sender, or you're trying to do a cleansing, when it has to do with your interaction with other people's energy that may not be conducive for your life. And so this is the stuff that I say that people that claim, because I'm not here to I don't speak for other people, I speak for myself, but I do know the benefits that I've had because I had teachers. And so a lot of the issues that I see other people go through, I didn't go through that because I was told this stuff by my teacher. Now, to all of you that want to be self-taught, the danger in that, thank you so much for the crown. The danger in being self-taught is that you don't know what questions to ask because you don't have the information. So and then you can't verify information unless you go through trial and error. Well, there are certain things I didn't have to go through trial and error because I was giving tested and proven information or workings by my spiritual teacher. The benefit of being in a well-raised house is this religious. What's religious? There's a difference between tradition and religion. So I'm not being funny. I'm trying to figure out what you're asking, because that's a general statement. What we're doing on here, we teach spiritual laws. What your religion is your particular, it's like where you go to gym. What am I teaching? I'm teaching universal laws. What I want people to understand, that it doesn't matter what type of teacher that you're listening to, in the sense of there are certain things that you should know and be explained to you whether you participate. It's like somebody trying to sell you a product that don't understand the product. Whether you decide to buy the product or not, they should be able to articulate to you what that product is and what it has the capacity of doing. And they should also be partakers of that that said product. It's overall spiritual aspect that he's speaking of. Thank you so much. We are they're chiming in. So when it comes down to universal laws, and this is what where the reason why we can't see the capacity of certain people, like we feel that when we come on social media that we can look at somebody and determine their capability, which is false, because no true spiritualist is going to put their actual practices and performance on social media, because even the initiates, we are not allowed to do those things. Okay, so the fact that you come and you listen and you get a smidgen of information, and now you think you have the totality of the information of that individual, is ignorant. Like my spiritual dad. No, I'm not talking to you. I have other people asking questions. I was just asking a question. Sweetheart, it's quite a... Please, guys, when you come in my live, don't come in sensitive. I am speaking to a vast amount of people, and there's a lot of questions going up and down. So do not individually make yourself more important in this live than what it is. I am generally talking to a plethora of people, and they're coming in and comments are being commented, and now you're getting sensitive. I am talking to a lot of people. I'm reading questions as I'm speaking. Okay, peace to you as well. Like, remember, I am viewing an audience. You're just looking at an individual. It's all about perception. And that's one thing that my spiritual dad, that's why when people learn up under me, I say, go watch the Karate Kid. Go watch it. Because let me tell you something. Depending on what type of practice you in, depending on who teaching you, depending on the examples, how you approach things. And a lot of times we miss out on things because I am accustomed to somebody preparing a meal for me like that. I'm accustomed to somebody preparing chicken for me like that. And so therefore, all I know is that I am used to eating fried chicken as though that's the only way that chicken can be prepared. And you treat your spirituality like that until you experience something outside of what you have been exposed to. You cannot claim to be a person that's spiritual when you can be blocked based off of how you think somebody is individually calling you out. It's impossible. Perception. I am dealing with the crowd. I speak. I'm a pastor. I speak to audiences all the time. And then all the audience is looking at one person. So therefore, it's like somebody standing in the stand. And they're watching a football game. I'm assuming you are a son of Oya. You assume correctly. Normally when people assume things, they made an ass out of them and me. But this assumption is actually right. Hi, for years people tend to be combative with me just because. Well, let me explain something. A lot of times when it comes down to energy, when we don't understand our energy, whether it's fire element, whether it's earth element, whether it is like me, my moon is in Aries. A lot of times people meet your energy before they meet you, before they know your name, before they know who you are, what you're about. A lot of times people meet your energy. This is why if you are truly spiritual, you spend time cleaning your energy or creating the energy yanza. You create a energy field that is that allows people to feel comfortable in, if that is your agenda. And me, my moon is an Aries. I know that's right. My Fede Funo Goon. So a lot of times when it comes down to interacting with people, it doesn't mean there's something wrong with your energy. It is that how somebody perceives your energy. And whether we want to admit it or not, there's a lot of spiritual information out there, I hear, but it's a lot of people that are giving information that are ignorant about real spirituality. They can tell you about their science, or they can tell you about what they do in a particular practice, but them themselves, they don't understand how universally all of this is connected. And so therefore, as a teacher that has basic information, they cannot give you revelation or insight to a particular practice. How can we cleanse it? Wait a minute, hold on. How can we cleanse it besides behavior? What rituals or works? Okay, now Me personally, when I get on the platform, I speak. If I was talking to my kids, I was talking to my loved ones. So let me explain something about cleansing. Cleansing, love, brother. Much love. Cleansing there are so many levels of cleansing. Okay, if something, no problem. If you're in your home and your plumbing burst, yes, you would get towels or you would get mops or whatever to clean up the water. And if you are smart enough, you'll turn off the water that runs through the house, right? But you yourself, even though it is your house, you do not have the capacity or capabilities of locating you don't have the tools to locate where the pipe bursts, and you don't have the skill set to fix the problem and then restore that particular area that was damaged. Okay, so when it comes to spirituality, a lot of times, because of how we look on social media, a lot of these teachers make you guys think it's so simple. Oh, go get a cleansing. Get you some Epsom salt. You got a cleansing. Go get you some put some ammonia. They don't know that if you put too much ammonia in your water, you can strip your positive energy and your negative energy. You can actually neutralize your prosperity and your health by utilizing certain products. Get you some sage. You don't even understand how sage operates. It's ruled by Jupiter and it's an air element. You don't understand air elements, so when you light that sage, you're not understanding that it's removing the blockages and it's going to spring clean your environment. So it is going to remove everything out of the way. And so therefore, when you do that, that means that you have to go behind your sage and put positive energies in there because you just spring clean that particular space. Now, also, did they tell you that if you're the one that's bringing the negativity in, that you can't cleanse the energy that you bring to the table, because that is your location. That's your energy. You have a divine right to hibernate, reside, abide in any type of energy that you so choose. And so your spirits, your ancestors, or anything that you claim to be working with, it's not going to move that, because whatsoever you allow on earth, your earth, shall be allowed in heaven, which is in your higher self, the microcosm of the universe, which abides in every human being. Thank you, guys. And I have so much stuff on my YouTube page. Hi, you said people meet my energy first. Is it my fault that they are combative towards me all my life? Now, you asked me a question, and I'm a Sagittarius, and I just need you to hear me out because you asked the question. Now, first of all, when you are properly protected, when you have done the proper conjure for yourself, the self-care, self-love, the spiritual hygiene, it's like it raining outside and you're up on a sheltered place. People being combative and their behavior has nothing to do with the flow of energy in your life if you have proper shields and protection around you. The same reason if a storm was going out, unless you actually looked out the window, you wouldn't even know. If you are in a secure location, no matter what is going on with other people's energy. One thing that I try to teach people when it comes down to energy and things like that, and as a teacher, taking responsibility for your own energy, your own Ache, allows you to have power to change those things that you can. Making it about other people is basically saying to your subconscious mind, these people have power to influence my health, my prosperity, my way of life. That you're giving permission. You're yielding permission based off of how you conduct your life and how you allow your energy to interact with other people. It is your energy. You back where you were. I don't know who you are. Speaking of cleansing, how often should we do bath cleansing? I do bath cleansing every single day. I have to. How do you change how... Wait a minute. Have you changed how your classes are scheduled? No, if you the classes, if you want to order a class, I just pay for the class and we send you the link. May I ask what state you're? I'm in Florida. Free man. That's Sagittarius. What are you a pastor of? I am a pastor of my ministry, Apostolic Faith of Jesus Christ Incorporated. since 2001. So I didn't just jump out here yesterday. What do you use when cleansing every day? I have a special cleanser that I utilize, but when it comes down to cleansing, I said it's a little no, I'm just raw. I don't guys, please, I want us to be mature. I'm not being slick. I'm just I'm reading, I'm trying to answer really quickly, and I'm trying to move on to the next question. Stop taking a personal offense. This is how can we practice real magic, real spirituality when the level of sensitivity, and then you're asking somebody that has been doing this since I was a child. I'm 51 years old. So I don't want anybody to take that. I'm just telling you, we're trying to respond to a lot of questions. Wait a minute. He's not attacking y'all, please, no. No, if you was on my YouTube channel, you'll know what an attack is. I'm a Sagittarius. I don't throw rocks in high hands. I ain't never been like that. I'm a natural born warrior. How do I encourage my children and wife to eat fruits and vegetables? By being an example. The best way, I think that the misnomer that a lot of people have out here, especially that raised up in Christianity, is that you can tell somebody what to do. I'm going to say that again. The reason why a lot of people magic don't work, or their implementation of magical systems don't work, is because they believe that they can control another individual. If somebody wants what you have by example, if you lead by example of something, if I show you over and over by doing these things that my life is in a better state, or if I'm going through something, I'm more apt to easily. It's like if I'm taking care of myself, taking care of my body, and then therefore it might be flu season over here in Florida, and yet either I don't contract I don't get the cold, or if I get it, I breeze through it. I don't go through the symptoms because I am maintaining of self. And so this is why I tell people, when it comes down to spirituality, it has a lot to do with the teachers that represent. What can we use in our baths? Some people use herbs like rue. Okay, let me say, I would say bath cleansing. So rue would be a good, there's also a soap out there, a black soap. Remember, black repels negativity. And I'm saying this, if you have the arche, the energy or the power to remove the influence. Sometimes it's not about the tool that you're utilizing. It is the arche that is necessary to remove the impeding energy. A lot of times people think because they get certain spiritual tools, and that spiritual tool, it's like you having a 4-cylinder vehicle trying to challenge a V8 with a Hemi. Other than being a pastor and teaching classes, do you do public speaking? At this time, I'm start traveling in a little bit. I'm getting myself prepared to travel more. And I get on this platform because I am not speaking from somebody that's well read. To those that are following me, y'all know I do magic for real. My hands get dirty. I'm a part of the process of what real energy. I go to the rivers, I go to the cemeteries, I go to the crossroads. I actually go to the locations where I need the arche and interact with those spirits. So it is very different when you got Amazon spiritualists out here, and so therefore they don't know how this stuff functions because they themselves are not out there. And so once again, what questions could you ask your teacher? You can't teach what you don't know. Can you give me the definition of chief apostle? Okay, first of all, the actual word apostle means sent one, and this is basically the structure of the foundation of the teachings of the I am, which is the Christ, the Yahshua. I don't subscribe to Jesus. I don't subscribe to that because the actual Christianity came out of Kemet, and it came from Egyptology, which is dealing with necromancy. That's why Yahshua is considered the first from the dead. So dealing with ancestor veneration, and so therefore the foundation, I am supposed to be a person that has the ability to reveal. The chief comes from because I am the top of the food chain. I am definitely the top of what we do in my platform. I make all my stuff from scratch. I'm not a rookie at this. I'm not an amateur. Even though I have less than a year in OCHA, I'm not an amateur in there. What about the bishop? The bishop is a Greek word for pastor. That's all. It's a shepherd. It's just that we turned them into other things. You know, somebody said bishop, pastor, it's a synonym. When you want to, when somebody is teaching something, they should be able to explain not only what it is that they believe in, why they believe in it, and they should be able to, even if somebody does not want to participate, but I can teach or share information where somebody on the outside can have a basic understanding. They might not know all the in-depth to that process because they're not inside, but you should be able to get out here and explain hoodoo, voodoo, Santeria, Lakumi, Congo, Palo, mysticism, Kabbalah, and not reveal the secrets of something. But there's what I like about Capricorn energy and Aquarius energy ruled by Saturn, there's logic to this. What caused people to want to harm me? Sweetheart, I think you need to get a consultation. You feel under attack. And you might be. But people attack me. But I don't believe that everybody's against me. And but I have a lot of like I have my Mafedi Fun Ogun talisman. I have Oshun talisman. I have things. I give out things. I'm very, very protective. I stay cleansed. And so a lot of times I'm more or less looking at trying to see how my protection is going to handle the situation. If you truly believe, it's like having a guard dog. If you have confidence in your guard dog, it's really more about like, okay, what I'm going to watch what my dog do to you. Same thing about protection. People can want to harm you all day. I must tell y'all this. We have to get out of the mindset. People don't have to like you. But when people act upon that dislike to impede your success, your happiness, and well-being, then you have a divine right as an individual, either having the capabilities of defending yourself or having the connection with somebody like me that can give you things to protect yourself. But at the end of the day, when you are not, other people don't have to agree. We feel like in order to be or do what we were called or chosen to do, that we have to have people amen in us in agreement. That's irrelevant. I have told people, you don't have to like me to be in my church. Because at the end of the day, I'm here to do my job. My job as a shepherd is to give you knowledge, wisdom, understanding. And then my job as a teacher is to explain the knowledge, the word, or the wisdom that I have. Other than that, as long as I'm doing my job, you doing your job, just like working on the job. As long as you get what you're there to get, you ain't got a person to like me or deal with me. The reason why I asked is because I met a chief apostle in the past. We are all different. I don't really speak on to other people because you're an Aquarius. I'm Sag. A lot of times people, hold on, so I agree, my only protection is my belief in the Most High. That's not enough, baby. I'm going to tell you why. The Bible says like this, when you believe in your heart, you don't want to solely utilize your heart chakra as your belief center for your protection. Let me explain why. It's like why we have generators. If you're in an area that you know that is constantly being stormed, and you in an area where the lights may go out, okay? So you have a backup, right? So you never want to utilize your life force energy to completely do, because that's your last defense to protect yourself. You don't ever want to start out with your last form of protection. Inbox you, but it's private. Okay. Thank you so much for the roses, y'all. I appreciate y'all. Being able to explain position and why you should have a spiritual advisor or somebody that is in your life that is that's important, that can bring clarity, to slow your roll, basically, to bring your mind to a state. Even if you're on attack, you still have to reposition yourself. You still have to figure out, troubleshoot where that attack is coming from. Are you actually going on the enemy's camp? An enemy could be somebody that is opposing you on a job, opposing you about your relationship. Sometimes you walk into energy, not that you're doing anything wrong, is that somebody may want what you got. And so their energy is attacking you and trying to get what you have, whether that's a relationship that they don't feel like you deserve, or they feel like they can have your man or your woman or whatever you got going on, or a position or a certain type of appearance of lifestyle. Let me tell y'all something. It's so many people out here doing conjure on people that if they really knew their real life, they wouldn't be working on them. Sometimes you envious and jealous of people that sometimes you living better than they are. You more at peace than they are. Sometimes people only portray to be in a position of power and they ain't there. See, I can talk about this because this is what I live. My spiritual teacher ended up abusing me. I think she wanted my energy. Okay. There's levels to abuse. And I want to be delicate. I want to affirm your feeling about abuse because I'm a type of person. I had a lot of people lie on me talking about I did this and did that. This is why I tell them watch Karate Kid. Daniel thought Miyagi was abusing him by having washing, painting fence, mopping, flooring. Like he felt like you done turned me into your personal slave. He did not understand the lifestyle of spirituality. Okay? And so when you don't understand the lifestyle of a thing, then, and you don't understand the science of a thing, then you can have misconceptions about what should be expected or not expected. And what I'm trying to do today is, as a teacher, because of my roles that are very different from person to person, situation to situation, if I am operating in your life as a pastor, my job is to give you knowledge and understanding. If my job is to enter in your life as a root worker, I am there not only for your health, but to show you how to use Mother Nature in order to advance your life. If I am there to hoodoo it, depending on what my position is, and therefore if you are there to learn, then you can't tell the teacher. Just like the scripture said that the clay can't tell the potter what to do. The truth is that a lot of people that get and say that they're trying to learn are constantly trying to tell the teacher how to teach. Oh, don't do that for me. Oh, don't do that. It's like going into a gym with your weight trainer, and they're constantly telling you to get on certain machine. You say, "Oh no, I don't want to get on that. No, I think I need to do that." Then you don't need a guide. You don't need something like that's you're not playing your role. And so commitment is understanding the roles that we play with one another. It's common sugar just to shop around and watch and listen until you're ready. Let me tell you, people think spirituality is about being nice. Yeah. No. If you want real, you want honesty, that's like nature. Every day you walk out the door, it ain't sunshine. Whether you will think it's bad weather or good weather, it's weather. It's doing its job. The idea that Christianity makes us feel that if something is not conducive or making us feel comfortable, then something is wrong. And that's just not the truth. The sun is not hot because it's trying to miserate your life. It's hot because that's what it was designed to do. Water is not wet because water trying to bring an issue in your life. Water wet because it was designed to do that. It is too many people that are trying to change what was already set up and for us to learn how to live and function in. And we trying to change this to make us feel. I don't need you to make me feel inferior. When I go into the gym and I look at this man or look at that woman and they already advanced, and I've never understood this. How do you go from being a student? She yelled at me and I was trying to, wait a minute. She yelled at me and was trying to manipulate me. Sweetheart, I ain't even gonna lie. I'm a boot camp. I'm very militant. If you tender, I'm probably not good for you either. Because when something is this serious, spirituality, dealing with energy is very serious. And a lot of times people don't understand how to deal or how to ask questions. And sometimes, just like a natural parent, you can ask your parent something, and if depending on what's going on with them. Well, I don't know the nature. I mean, you just. I'm getting a partial side of a test an opinion of a relationship that the other person is not here to defend themselves, positive or negative, and so therefore I can only by being fair to them just give you a general and from somebody that teaches people. I know how hard-headed people are. I know how many people's feelings I have hurt. And I don't feel sorry, because at the end of the day, life is way much worse out here if you don't know. You know what I'm saying? So, and if y'all been, and I'm going to say that if you've been with somebody 20 years, it's just like a relationship. If things don't just get bad overnight, nothing gets bad overnight. A problem just doesn't just pop up. And so I'm not saying it is or not. I'm just trying to tell you is the telltale signs. You're going to feel the way that you feel because of your perception. And I like to use analogies like this. If you praying and you get the job, you call that a blessing. But the person that didn't get the job, that felt like they needed and had their kids and it felt like they're going to lose their house, they feel like they got cursed. Because they're on the other end of that manifestation that you got. A lot of times, people think it is easy to teach people. It's not. I teach people on all types of levels. I deal with people from all types of backgrounds and experiences, and I have my own life. And sometimes people feel like they don't give you room to go to the bathroom. They feel like that's all you do is there to be in there. So I want you to understand, I'm not here to agree or disagree in that, because I don't know the facts involved. And I ain't did a reading on it, so I definitely ain't gonna comment. But what I'm telling you as a general term, a lot of times it's about resolution of issues. Being able to resolve differences. A lot of times when you dealing with people that are been with you a long time, they get comfortable and they feel like they can do or say or handle things. Because I have people do it to me. I've experienced judging at the church. Hold on, what's this? I experienced judging at the church by members in position. I'm confused about going back. Now, let me say this about church. First of all, as a pastor and a shepherd of the church, I apologize to everybody, especially the black church, the melanated church, of all the detriment, the mental abuse that has come over the pulpit, the judging, and especially from people judging other folk that are doing the same thing, if not worse. Now, what we don't want to do is to continue bad behavior. And so therefore, what I have learned, certain ma'am, is that I need better communicational skills. I need to be able to resolve issues without things getting out of into chaos. And so learning how to nip things in the bud, learning how to communicate if there is an issue, and then being able to communicate those feelings that I have. Now, if I'm feeling a certain type of way and I can't explain to the person why I'm feeling that way, then that's not their fault. Because how somebody moves may make you feel a certain type of way, but doesn't mean that they're doing anything wrong. And so therefore, a lot of times as teachers, we're constantly trying to keep that distance between teacher and student. And that's not very easy, especially I'm very personal with people. And so therefore, sometimes I have to stop and make sure that there's a divide between me and them, so they don't feel that they have a right or a feeling that they can disrespect, because we're not homies like that. We cool, we all this, because you have to keep that, just like parents with children. You have to keep those boundaries, because it not only protects the teacher, it protects the student. And a lot of time, because we have a long-term relationship, we feel like we can just cross certain things, and sometimes people are trying to reestablish those boundaries, and you feel in a type of way about it. And I'm not talking about you in particular. I'm just telling you of things that happen. I've had to check my members. Wait a minute now. All right. What's your favorite form of divination? My favorite form of divination is me, because I'm a natural seer. I use spiritual tools, but I love the way I'm set up to do readings. Listen, I love that. It's the truth. Like I practice Palo. I can read a lot of stuff, but I love the way that I'm set up to read people in situations. I wouldn't trade it for no divinational tool. apostle is a great teacher, and he is who he says he is. Yeah, I appreciate it. Are you able to recognize, wait a minute, are you able to recognize others like you? Yes. Energy don't lie. Jazz say, tap that screen. Appreciate y'all. Let me tell y'all something. This is, it's been said many times, many different ways. When you are ready as the student, the teacher will appear. A lot of people think they're ready because you have so many poor examples of spiritualists out here on these platforms. And so therefore people feel like if they can do it, then I can do it. If that's all it is, then I can do it. You understand? There's a reason why people are born to practice certain ATRs. There's a reason why a person goes through the things that they go through so they can be able to turn around and help other people. The Most High LL Young, I know the divine name for that. I'm just the Most High God is my resource. How do I get consultation? If it's just all you have to do is go to my website and get a consultation. That's not difficult. I want y'all to understand something. And I like the way she said that. User Robin. All of these terms are just adjectives for an energy. Most High, LL Young, God, divinity, that can be male or female because it's energy. And it's talking about guard particles, which is the chaos energy, which is carbon, the life building block. All of those, God is a title. It does not ascribe to the individual entity. It doesn't describe to the relationship. It's like you telling, turn around and say, hey mom, hey dad, hey auntie. They're going to respond because they're going to respond because of relationship to you. But at the end of the day, you still know their government name. We have to move beyond the titles that associate us with a particular spirit and actually develop relationships. So therefore, you can say Jehovah Jireh, you can say Mighty and Zombie, or you can say Gabriel, Michael, Uriel, because now you're in relationship. And just knowing somebody's name or a spirit's name does not make relationship. And that's what a lot of these teachers need to explain to people. You think it's like me in a restaurant overhearing a conversation. Yes, I know who this person is because they talking. But that don't mean I'm in relationship. Because you have knowledge of something doesn't bring you into relationship. Relationship, that's why the scripture said that you must be born again, baptized. And because you have information about something does not make you a part of that thing. This is why people don't try to preserve the ATRs, because you're just there for the benefit. That's why the side piece always basically walks away good, because they don't have nothing to lose. The people that involved in the relationship, even down to the cheater, they don't want got something to lose because they have built something with somebody else. People that are actually in the ATRs, we have something to lose when you go out there and misrepresent the ATRs. As a teacher of this, I try to explain to everyday people, whether they work with me, whether they buy my products. I'm a church, so you have to give a donation for my products and services. But my point is, I have a vested interest in you having a better understanding, whether you melanated, whether you of a different ethnic background. At the end of the day, working with spirits that come from Africa, but then don't have no respect from African people that those spirits represent, is a delusion. That's like some man saying he love you, but he don't like your kids. That's like you telling the man you love him, but you can't stand his mama. That's a problem. This cedar, by the way. Teachers out here, that's like when you got a teacher that's teaching calculus. How do I join the community? All you got to do is go to my YouTube page. The speech sheet. So, whether you in Ifa, Voodoo, Santeria, Lakumi, is there anything that you would done differently when learning the ATR? What I would have done differently, I'm gonna tell you something that I tell people that follow me and been following, especially if you talking about being in a relationship. I wish because I grew up with everything being secretive and it's just behind the closed door, it's personal. You cannot be this spiritual and hide your spirituality or your practices for somebody you're going to be involved. You have no business being in relationship. They don't have to practice, but they should have a certain level of respect for what you do and not bringing negative energy to what you do because they are in disagreement. Two can't walk together except they agree. And I'm gonna tell you another thing I wish I had done differently. I wish when I got into the church that I would not have dropped my guards because I felt because I was in the church I should have been safe. No. You don't. I tell people all the time. I don't care where you go to church at. You don't leave your common sense in the car. You don't go into the church and put your common sense in your pocket, your wallet, or your purse, or or to the city. You keep your common sense because 1 + 1 gonna equal 2. I don't care who preaching. I don't care who teaching. I don't care who praying. I don't care if they're doing Ifa, Voodoo, Santeria, Lukumi. At the end of the day, you're practicing magic for manifestation. Manifestation means something coming to pass. So I don't care if you lighting a candle. I don't care if you writing, doing a parchment paper. I don't care if you are decreeing a thing. I don't care if you're doing a cleanse. Whatever you do, you're doing that to get a particular outcome. And there's a thing that is called out there, the law of probability. In other words, the more prepared you are, the more energy you're willing to put into something gives you the higher probability of that thing manifesting. It don't guarantee. I'm going to say that again. Teachers should be out here teaching people that except something is predestined for you to get, everything else is about probability. That's why we do magic, to change our probability of a certain outcome. That's why we cleanse. That's why we light candles. That's why we do spiritual sacrifices. That's why I don't care what religion we do. That's why we do it, because our chances. Yeah, I have helped guilty people get out of legal trouble, but I have had to make certain sacrifices because it's about energy exchange. Thank you, Chief, for your insight. It seems so hard to protect yourself from what you do not know. Exactly, but that's why you need teachers. But then you got people out here claiming to be teachers that are not teaching. They're telling you what they think and how they feel. Universal laws are not about my feelings. Universal laws ain't even about my experiences. Universal laws are what it is. It's universal. And a lot of people get out here and they try to get other people on their wagon. I don't need you to agree with what I'm doing for me to do what I'm doing. I don't need you to amen what I'm doing to do what I am chosen to do. Now, if what I am doing resonates with you, you're going to, just like Jesus told them, if you were of Abraham, you would receive me. If I resonate with you, I don't have to do a back bend and turn myself into a person. It resonate, it resonate. If it don't, it don't. If you don't embrace wisdom, I believe in wisdom. I like Capricorn. Structure is there not only for the protection of you, but the protection of anybody. Let me see if I got any more questions. Hold on. It's not hard when you have a good teacher and a right to. Exactly. And they should be able to explain that. Guess what? I have people in my church that's never going to practice voodoo, but they benefit off of my voodoo. But they also have a respect for my voodoo, because you don't have to practice something, but you should have enough understanding about that practice so you can respect and honor those spirits that are a part of that practice. Just like you don't have to be in somebody's marriage to respect their marriage. And then you can also interact with those married people if you respect those boundaries. The problem is we got a lot of hoes that don't like to respect people's boundaries. And they contract. Same thing when it comes to spirituality. If you are initiated into something, stop making it about other people. That is your commitment that you made into that particular ATR. And you should be able to explain, or you shouldn't be a part of stuff that you do not understand. You want to do something different. And you didn't sit down and count up the cost, and therefore, certain man, you cannot explain or articulate to the people that you love and love you, because you look crazy because they don't understand what you're doing and you don't understand. It's like following somebody that don't know where they're going. Yeah, you got driving license, and yes, that is your vehicle. But we clearly see you don't know where you're going. So being a part of stuff and that you trying to do spells and conjure and you still don't understand the science of what you're doing. Even if somebody walk away and say they don't agree with what I'm doing, at least I explained it to them. At least I had the ability to explain it to them. Thank you for hitting the tapping that screen. It's really helping to put it out there. But many of you guys that really want to learn real magic, go to my YouTube page. Join my YouTube page. Join my Patreon. Go to my website. Get a consultation. This is cedar, by the way. I normally burn this on Sunday, but today I've been doing a lot. Ooh. Let me see if there's any questions. And guys, let me tell you something. The worst thing you can do is sit in the classroom when you have a teacher. See, homework is for what you do when the teacher not there. But when you yourself are in Egba Oru. Now, I haven't received Egba Oru because I'm going to receive that. And I want to receive that particular Orisha because I want to enhance my abilities as a necromancer. I want to work, I work very strongly with the dead in all of the ATR. So I want to utilize that particular Ache and how that energy works with death, because most of the, even with Palo, you know, I am Centea Indoki and Palo. So I work with the dead and I work with the spirits of the dead. Yeah, I'm a child of Oya for real. And every, in Voodoo, Baron Samzi, like that, I am truly a child of the dead. Peace and blessings and abundance. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. I'm just trying to see if anybody got any questions. How do you start if you feel you can start practicing? Behold, wait a minute. Being told, oh, Odin is around, and yes, signs there. Okay. Now, when you're starting off, okay, I want y'all to think about this. When you're starting off in a matter, don't matter what vehicle, when I say vehicle, I'm talking about tradition, don't matter. The thing that you want to understand, the same thing they teach us in driving school, you're going to have to understand the signs, you're going to understand the where you can pass at. You cannot really navigate in a particular tradition if you don't understand the laws and the rule, the laws and the rules and the regulations of that said tradition. You have no business practicing when you are learning. I'm going to say that again. When you are learning, you should be observing somebody that actually practiced. This is why once again, I don't believe in self-taught. When I was doing spell work as a kid, I had people looking over me, checking my work. Just like in a classroom, your teacher's there. That's the purpose of having a teacher in your life. This is why y'all don't understand why it costs the type of money depending on the type of teacher. If you go out there, imagine some of you saying you want to sing, right? But you want the voice coach that coaches Mariah Carey or Whitney Houston or Aretha Franklin. Do you know what it's going to cost to have that particular teacher? Now, can you have other voice coach teacher? Absolutely. But you're not going to have theirs. And their time is going to be more demanded because of the type of clientele they have. And it's too many of you guys are trying to compare other people when you may not be economically able to afford that particular type of teacher. So that's why I give out free information, because you have to understand that certain people can take certain people to certain levels. And so therefore they my son loves Peyton Manning, right? So we were having a conversation. So Peyton Manning pays, and I also Serena does it too. They pay their teachers or their coaches to tell them what they're doing wrong. The average person with Christian background do not like to be told what they're doing wrong. So what I asked them, I said, is that smart or is that stupid? Nobody has to tell you when you're doing something right. In order to be perfected, somebody got to be able to recognize when you are in error or you're doing something that you can be more proficient at. And a lot of us don't like to be corrected. A lot of us think we already know. So how can you get to the next level and somebody help you evolve to the next level when you don't have the mindset that nobody can correct you? Well, I've been frying chicken like this with lard all this time. My grandma did it. My mama did it. Blah, 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 blah. Now we got air fryers. You will never experience that. You know why? Because you are stuck in that cycle, that pattern. And that's fine, because you know what the beautiful thing about this whole platform? You grown. Keep on frying with lard, baby. They're going to still have it on the shelf as long as you keep buying it. But if you want to evolve, you want to develop, then you're going to get the type of teachers that are going to challenge you, They're going to make you ask questions that are going to teach you how to ask questions. To teach you, like every Sunday after I get through preaching or teaching, I ask my congregation individually, what did you learn? Because no matter what I am teaching, somebody else is hearing or perceiving what I am saying very differently. So not only do they learn what they perceive, they're going to also learn and hear what somebody else perceives. That's why individuality of experiences are also good no matter what you practice. May I ask a question? You sure can. Will Arisha choose the student when learning about ATF? Arisha's, Loaz, and Kesey, you never choose a practice. A practice always chooses you. I didn't say that you can't like a particular spirit or Orisha, but at the end of the day, we are predestined. If you understand evolution, we come to this earth predestined. And so therefore, we are only living out what we have been assigned to. This is why we use the term destiny or fate, because we understand that I was born. When you hear me say that I was born to do what I'm doing, and that's what I feel like it, whether somebody say amen or somebody say you the devil, none of that matters, because chosen to do such a work. And that's why the spirits address me, because they already know me. I had people that were in Ocho before I even got crowned was already saying like, are you sure you're not crowned? Because Oye is all over you. Spirits were already there. Loas were already there. Impungo were already there. Ancestor was already there. A lot of us think just because something comes to your awareness doesn't mean that it just magically appeared. They've been there. You never were aware of it. It's like a dog whistle. That signal was there the whole time. You just can't hear it. Well, please teach at least me. I would love to learn. All you got to do is go to my website. I'm not hard to get. It's not hard to get. All of my information I'm legal. All of my information is on my website. Is in my bios. I have classes. Individually, I can be hired to actually teach you individual aspects of magic individually. I work with business owners. I work with all type. I work with legal people. I work with illegal people. I work with people that's in the right, and I work with people that's in the wrong. I work both hands. Only thing I don't do is take money for innocent blood. But anything of that, and we call it, because I'm a church, everything is donation. Well, what do you see around me so I can do some research? You would have to get a consultation. You're balanced. Absolutely. Yin and yang. Feminine energy and masculine energy. But it's all energy. And let me say something. There's no such thing as good and bad. It's about perception. Light or darkness. It's energy. The Bible says like this. God called the light day, and he called darkness night. It is just to show the separation of cycles. We operate in a spiral cycle. It don't matter what you practice. What happens is you get stuck in a cycle. It's like a washing machine or a dryer. If you get stuck in a cycle, you got to have somebody to repair it. Well, a lot of us get stuck in situations and circumstances and never move from that. And then we do not seek any spiritual technicians to come and troubleshoot to figure out why we are stuck in certain cycles and alafia. And so therefore we do not get the benefit. A lot of people utilize Babalu Aye and they talk about healing, but Babalu Aye is a king. Babalu Aye also deals with finances, because just because you're only experiencing a particular energy one way doesn't mean that's all that energy has. The question is, my destiny, the dark or the light? Can you answer that? Like I said, consultation. Because now you're asking me to utilize my energy in order to do that. Anytime you utilize the ache of a spiritual individual, bendición, then you are you don't ever want to owe energy to somebody like that. All you gotta do is get a consultation. And I like what they did, because this is what typically happens when you don't have teachers. Because my children would never have done that. People that have been taught by me would have never done that, because they understand energy exchange. And there's nothing for free. What's a consultation? A consultation is how when you sit down and have a select hour with me, and we go over how I do divination concerning you. Yes, you have to ask for respect. There is an elbow for everything. Exactly. And but because you've been taught that, you know that. But there's a lot of people out here that think that this is like putting in a slot machine, or they think it's about. And I don't think that a lot of people are actually being disrespectful. They just don't know. And because they haven't been taught, or you don't have people out here actually teaching, how do you address, how do you interact with energy? The same way that you would not walk in a power plant nude, wet, and walking around with wires in your hand and touching stuff because you understand that you could lose your life, is the same reason why you don't deal with real spiritual people that are connected with Divine Mother, Divine Father, or whether they're connected with the earth or with the universe. At those points, you understand that that person is carrying an arche or energy, and so therefore I want to bless that energy, because energy out, energy in. Those are spiritual concepts, no matter what you practice. May I ask another question? Yes. Did you have to look up your ancestry? Excuse the naivete. No problem. And I appreciate you asking questions. So, once again, if you watching me on my YouTube, I always start my YouTube channel of my speaking that I was born this way. I don't know anything outside. I've never not known magic. Okay? With that being said, ancestry, I don't go through Ancestry.com. That is done through divination with a trained individual that is able to perceive the types of spirits that are walking with an individual. Now, the delusion that most people have is because you find out that Uncle Ray Ray is following you, doesn't mean that Uncle Ray Ray can do prosperity work for you. Does not mean that. You know why? Because if Uncle Ray Ray was not successful with finances in life, he's not going to be successful with those finances just because he's in spirit or energy form. Okay? Yes, with a Baba. So, and there's a lot of different type of people that can utilize their gifts and talents to express that. But I think that people need to explain. Your ancestors before you got a reading were already there. And if you were not being successful, finding out who the ancestors are, they're not working for you, is because you're not giving them the arche, or they do not have the capabilities. And so understanding, and this is why I separate classroom work with the teacher and homework. When something matters to you, you're going to do homework. When you're just in those classes to get through those classes, then you're never going to do the homework. Therefore, you're never going to evolve. You're never going to advance. But finding out ancestry, I didn't find that out through Ancestry.com. I found that out through spirits showing up. So I know whether I know all of their names or not. I know they show up for me when I pray for healing. I know they show up for me when I ask for protection. I know they show up for me when I have questions. I know they show up for me for manifestation. That's what's more important, the relationship versus the names. Hey, my chocolate apostle, looking good. Thank you so much, sweetie. You know I'm in for that. Do I think it's good to know? Absolutely. But it's not relevant to manifestation. Because you knowing that your grandma following you in her energy, if she's not elevated, you have to elevate that spirit. You have to give arche, light, ebos. We got all kind of terminology. We call them sacrifices in the church. You have to give arche, chi, light to those spirits to elevate those spirits, because they were not elevated in life. It is too many people working with ancestors that are not elevated. And so therefore, you're low vibrational. Your ancestors are low vibrational. This is why I have ancestor incense. I have guardian angel incense and stuff to help elevate your ancestors. And if you're not going to put the work in, it's just like the same natural concept. You might be in a family that nobody went to college. So therefore, you're going to be the first one to go to college. Therefore, you can't turn around and ask nobody in your family what to do. You have to be the trailblazer. You have to be the pioneer. There are certain times you might be the first one in a particular path in your bloodline. So therefore, you don't have the benefits that other people behind you are going to have, because then you become the teacher. Thank you. Fact. Become the trailblazer. But at the end of the day, you have to take on them headwinds. Why should Wait a minute. Why should make altars for people that are walking with us correct, but if we don't know who? Okay. Why make altars for people you don't know? It's the same reason why people have sex with people they don't know. They do it all the time. People make altars to people they don't know, or they're not in a relationship all the time because they want what they want, whether they understand it or not. The average person that comes into any spiritual practice, no. Oh, it said, sorry if voice texting don't have. It's quite all right. It's still a good question. Do you have ebooks for your class? No, I have a Zoom classes that you can pay for. Now, because I'm doing this because I want y'all to act. I don't want anybody on this platform to think that you're asking stupid questions, because you're not. Because clarity is your friend. It is so much better to get clarity. Now, this is another thing that I tell people. Just because you're in Ifa, Voodoo, Santeria, Kumi, if you have relatives that don't like gay people, black people, short people, fat people, just because you put them on their altar and because you're practicing Ifa does not change the mindset of your ancestor. And then if you're trying to do work with a client that you know your relatives in life had a problem with that type of person, that's what needs to be said. They're not going to help that individual. They're going to work against that person. And no matter what kind of ebo or spell or conjure you do, because that person's mindset, their consciousness has never changed. There are certain spirits that I do not work with certain people, because that spirit is not elevated above that mentality that they once had when on earth. They still think that their consciousness still operates as such. That's another thing people need to tell folks. You go into certain cemeteries that don't like ethnic people, but you in there trying to do conjure to return the sender, and you go into somebody's grave that do not like your kind of people, and you wonder why things are backfiring. Right, and so therefore the same concept is true when we do altars. Whatever your ancestor like, you might not ever do snuff, but your ancestor do snuff. The altar has nothing to do with you as the individual. It's just like fixing a plate for somebody. You're putting on the plate what they like, not what you like. You're giving them the offerings what they like. You don't. A lot of us, we do that reverse. You giving your ancestor what you like, what you think they should have, and you wonder why. Huh? You might not like that granny did snuff. That's irrelevant. Put that on the altar. You the one practicing Ifa. You know that a granny dealt with Christianity or hoodoo. That's what you put on that altar. It's not about you. And there's too many people trying to practice the ATR, and you making it about you. It ain't about you. What energy you trying to interact with? Are you trying to appease that energy, or are you trying to upset that energy? That's why I tell people, you can say all day long that you like me, you for me. If my spirit do not like you, they're going to whoop on your ass. If they feel like you come in and cause problems with me, I don't care what I pray for you. They fit get the getting. And I'm like, what in the world? What in the tomfoolery is going on here? You cannot fool spirits. Excuse me, Chief. All spirits associated with family lineage only. No, because some spirits that we deal with and I deal with, it never came to the earth plane. No. Every spirit is not tied to ancestry. Some spirits don't even like humans. When I deal with extraterrestrial energies or celestial energies that never came, were never born on this earth realm, they don't relate. That's why when you dealing with certain higher beings and you asking them to do money work, they looking at you like, money work? If they're not interacting with mankind, then they don't understand your need. That's why we work with our ancestors for our everyday needs, because our ancestors understand what we have need of because they have been through those struggles. Can you elaborate, please? Okay. Never came to the earth plane. Okay. There are certain divine spirits in our practices that never incarnated on earth. The reason why we deal with the Orishas is because those type of energies incarnated on the earth. So they have an understanding of how this realm works and the exchange of energy on this realm. But then there's other entities that we utilize to elevate us to higher planes that never were incarnated, or as we say in the church, he became flesh. The word became flesh. And so therefore those entities, and I say entity because they're just energies that have not entered into this earth realm or in flesh, but they do interact with elevated people of my nature. But if I'm doing money work for you, I'm not going to go to them because they don't deal with that. That's why a lot of people think their spells are failing them, if you even can contact those type of spirits. But even in that, why do they care about wealth? They've never known anything but the light and energy and frequency and vibration. And you're having a discussion with them. It's like somebody has never ate collard greens. And you trying to have a complete conversation with them and they just looking at you. They have no idea what you're talking about. Do they hear you? Yeah. Do they comprehend what you're talking about? But they themselves have never interacted with that. Where should we start? Where should we start? What is it that we need to do first? I always tell people, always start with yourself. The kingdom of God is within you, whether you believe in Christianity or not. It all starts with the Alpha and Omega. Everybody want to start with stuff outside of themselves, and so therefore they don't have a foundation of themselves, and so therefore they're easily to be misled, they're easily to be influenced, and they're easily to be distracted or confused. If you start with self and get you right, then you interacting with other people outside of self will only enhance you. I started by burning ancestor incense, basically opening the door for them to trust me. Yep. But she been learning up under me as well. The idea that you don't want to spend resources into your education, you're doing yourself a disservice. If you're truly trying to learn spirituality, if you're just trying to get spiritual work, I'm not trying to be a mechanic. I just want my tire changed. I just wanted my alternator changed. So I'm going to go to the people that actually do that for a profession, pay them their money, fix my car, and I'm going about my business. That's what a lot of you guys saying you're doing. But that's not what you're doing. You're actually trying to learn this as a professional. This is why college is not for free. Exactly. Ain't nothing for free. It's always energy exchange. But people want to feel that way because they want you to give them something that you would have had to go sacrifice for. And that's just irresponsibility on their behalf, not the person. Why get mad with somebody that you got to pay for what they went to school for or their trade? That's disrespectful to their profession. You know, just like you have certain people that are in business, they're always running a sale. Then there are other places. I remember I'm a UPS driver for 29 years, right? So I was delivering on the beach side. I'm in Florida. So I was on the beach side, and I every time I used to go to this particular jewelry store, they never had a lot of foot traffic, right? So one day, every time they're coming in with CODs, they always paid their CODs. Okay. So one day I was in there making a delivery, and the individual got a phone call, and this lady, I think the ring that she was like $25,000, right? So the lady didn't even come. I know if I spent $25,000, she didn't even come in to get it. She waited for it. But my thing was, a lot of times, depending on the business, some of y'all think prosperity is about foot traffic. There are certain people that are being blessed by certain clientele that they don't have a lot of foot traffic, but they are very successful. And so depending on what you define as success, you may look at somebody that, like Walmart, got always people coming in and out, but they're not turning them profits like some other people. No disrespect at all, but we all have to crawl before we walk. And yes, there's nothing for free. I didn't take it there's no disrespect. I mean, let me say this. Crawling and asking questions about things that cost is not the problem. Wanting the things that cost without pay is the problem. You can ask a car dealership or salesman how much that vehicle is. That's not a disrespect. That's not a disrespect. Wanting to take that car off the lot without paying for it is the problem. This particular hat representing Bablu Aye. I would never. You're not taking it because I'm not going to give you something that you didn't pay for. So I'm never. That is never going to be the problem. I'm just trying to teach you, whether you work with me or anybody else, how to approach spiritual people without. Some people get very offended by that, and then they feel like you disrespecting them. I'm just explaining you why. First time here, thank you for joining us. This is why I'm teaching. So a lot of times, even people with good intention doesn't mean that you know how to address certain people, and especially if they are tried and proven. There are certain ways they are accustomed to people addressing them. And when you come out on social media, you have to assume that people are ignorant. And I got that from my members and people talking to me. Like, a lot of people just don't know. So that's why I'm on my platform actually sharing information that applies to everybody and knowing how the proper way to actually get what you want without even being disrespectful, because it's called spiritual mannerism. Yeah, me, this child of Oshun, gets very offended when asking for free. Yeah. And they have a right to. And they're not even, and most people think the person getting upset is being acting out of order. No, you don't know the sacrifices that individual has gone through. It's like you get upset with the doctor when they give you the bill, but you didn't go through all the stuff they got for them to be a doctor. That's why they charge what they charge. In my case, it's about donation because I'm a church. My crown took sacrifice time, and oh yes. Yeah, and that's my, like, and anybody, it's like, always look at spirituality just like you would look at somebody's business or their home. People have spent time, energy, and money to maintain that house. And the proper thing is to respect the rules and regulations of that house. And when you're going to any spiritualist, you're going to a kingdom or house, whether it's Ifa, Voodoo, Santeria, Lakumi, Mystic, Hoodoo Worker, Conjurer, Obia, don't matter. When you go to an individual, you're going to a world that they represent. And so therefore respecting and saying, you know what, how could I address you? How, asking questions. That's why I'm giving you an opportunity to ask questions. It's nothing wrong with saying, you know what, how do I present myself if I want certain information? Because there's certain information that we can give you, and there's other information we can't give you. And a lot of people that are out there telling you stuff, they're putting on anywhere. All you really doing is paying for entertainment, because you're not paying for a real reading, because that is energy exchange, and that costs. That's like a man or woman telling you they want to be in a relationship with you and they saying they don't want nothing. That's a lie. You're going to find out later what they want. Yeah, when I'm on YouTube, I do readings for $20 and my consultations are $150 on my website. And I utilize these cards. I do not throw my OB. I do not allow people to speak to my Santos. I don't do any, not online. What's the reason for the sacrifice when it comes to all practices? The sacrifice is the energy. See, I'm gonna say, like, I'm glad you asked this. It's like the sacrifice represents the energy that has been required to do manifestation. It's the same thing. It's the amount of gas you put in your car to reach your destination. If you are trying to get to a destination or a certain outcome without the sacrifice or the ebo or the offering, then what you're doing is that energy has to come from somewhere, because universal law says energy exchange. And so therefore, you want to give the sacrifice because you don't want the spirit to come into your life and take the energy wherever he or she desires. See, when you give the ebo or you give the offering, you give the sacrifice of praise. It is the exchange of energy, chi, prana, for said petition. What is that you practice? Now, personally, I practice, this particular representation is of Ocha. Santeria and Lukumi. But I practice quite a few ATRs. I'm initiated in. What is the difference between Lukumi? What is the difference between Lukumi and... I can't speak on that. Because I practice Lukumi. I do not practice the other religion. Let's see, do you do first consultations? I do consult. All you have to do is book my consultation. And do the live readings. And how does that work? When I get through doing my teachings on my platform, I open the floor for me to do incense burns and readings at that point, and all you have to do is post your zodiac sign, and then I use these deck of cards to do your reading, and I give out information. And if you go to my YouTube channel, I have plenty of my clientele will testify of my level of accuracy. And that's just with a $20 reading, no less than a consultation. I get as deep as you want. You can afford to go. It's too much for me to post on him. Maybe I'll post content on my other TikTok. I like that one. Yeah, a lot of, and let me tell y'all something. Asking about having a general idea about a certain practice is one thing, but always remember they're never going to tell you the secrets. We can't tell you the secrets. It's just a lot of the sciences, depending on the location and the geographical area, they morphed into other things. This is why I love Mafedi Fun Oya, because it's about transformation. Just because you learn how to prepare a plate one way doesn't mean that you can't put your own twist on things and it's still to make that dish better. Yeah, we cannot disclose secrets. And that's no shade. It's no different than you going out telling family secrets. You ain't supposed to, but there are people that do it, but there are consequences for that. I don't have a need to share traditional secrets when I can teach universal laws that apply to everybody. But that's just me. Let me see if there are any questions. I think that I want y'all to think about ATRs and stages, like going to different levels of college and education. There's no reason to be asking about college level classes when you just entered into first grade. If you are really trying to learn magic, then you need to stick with foundational teachings of all of the ATRs. Asking things that you've heard about in the sphere of we call it the spiritual streets, does you no service, because even if they explained it, you couldn't apply it. You don't have the tools. You're not initiate. It does you no service. If you are trying, and I say this in all honesty, I don't believe that people are trying to learn magic. I really don't. Because if you are trying to learn magic, there are certain questions you would be asking. It's like going to school. You would have your tools. You would be assisting and getting up under some type of teacher or some type of person that has been proven. And you would go in there to learn. Most people that say they're trying to learn magic is constantly talking. You can't learn and talk at the same time. You can't learn and trying to tell the teacher how to teach the class at the same time. And most people, they already have their personal beliefs about things that they're not willing to give up. And that's why the scripture said you must first deny yourself. How can you be taught when you ain't teachable? I don't care what you practice. I don't care how much you watch other spiritual people. You cannot learn their craft by watching them on TikTok. They have to actually impart and give you that teaching. And there's mythology behind all of our practices. Why we do or don't do. We are magic, just so I do not know how to tap in. But there's all types of magic. Most people think because of Christianity that you have access to all forms of magic, and everybody don't have that. We all have different measures of gifts, measures of talent, and I don't care what you practice. Every Baba can't do what everybody. Some people have a natural talent to do readings or see spirits or to work with certain areas of manifestation, love work. Everybody is not a super Walmart. They don't have the capacity of ministering to a wide range of the needs of the people. There are certain areas that they are good in, and that's just it. We get out here on social media and we just say we can do all this and stuff, and you have no track record. At least when David was standing in front of Goliath, he had victory with the bear and the lion. Some of us out here talking to people talking about we're gonna do. We don't have no resume. Like, well, what made you get out here and tell them that you can do that and you ain't never won a court case? That's like people out there judging cases on the Supreme Court that ain't never tried a case. Ain't never tried a case. Ain't never tried a case. What makes you, why are you making decisions? At least I'm out here with a proven record talking about things that I've already accomplished. All right, y'all, I've been on here long enough. If you want to subscribe to my YouTube channel, get a consultation, do yourself a service. If you want to go to my website and get some of my products to help you along your way, since you know everything and you don't need a teacher, you can go treat my website just like you would walk. If you already a mechanic, you can go into AutoZone and get what you need. If you a plumber, you can go in a plumber or a painter. You know how to go in and get what you need and utilize it the way you do. But if you want my services and because you don't know or don't want to do it, then you enlist Apostle Eden. Okay? That's how that works. All right. Love you. Appreciate you. And I will see you guys on my YouTube channel. God bless.